All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to ASAP in the morning. It is your boy Pride, joined by Chris Gonzo. How you feeling today, my guy?
I'm feeling good. Ready to see what other big trades happening in baseball today.
It's
And we're getting closer to football. We got preseason football. What, 2 days?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
I think Thursday night.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be very, very fun. But obviously, we did a kind of open with the trade deadline, so let us get into it. A lot of stuff happened yesterday. A lot of flinging, a lot of flanging. I want to bring up some of the stuff that happened, and I want to get your thoughts on it because it's going to be very interesting. By the way, today, Jacob deGrom is set to return against the Nationals for the Mets. So glad to see him. I think it's been over a year at this point. So glad to see him get back on the mound. But the first name I honestly really need to get into, Trey Mancini. We've spoken about the Orioles before, right? And we were in this. I thought this. Chris, I believe you shared the same sentiments with me. And I think it was pretty much the unanimous opinion on all of us. The Orioles are winning, right? So why would you we honestly thought they would be in the bye, right? They're third in division, they're over 500, 52 and 51. They still have a legitimate chance in the wild card. But then you trade away Trey Mancini. It's weird. Obviously it's a steal for Houston. Let's just knock that one out the way. But how confusing is it for the Baltimore Orioles to be on a roll, seem like they're ready to, try to make a push in terms of being solid, and then trading away Trey Mancini?
It didn't make no sense to me. I couldn't believe it. I was watching TV and it came across the bottom of the screen, and I thought I read it wrong. I was like, there's no way. Why would they get rid of one of their best players? And I know he didn't seem like he was real thrilled about it in the interviews I heard with him. I mean, he's going to go play wherever, but you could tell he really wanted to be in Baltimore. That, he fought cancer there. The city got behind him. That was his home. It didn't make much sense because, I thought they would be buying. I thought they was going to bring in maybe a bat or maybe like a mid reliever or something to try to help strengthen that team a little bit. I never thought they was going to start breaking the team up.
Yeah, it was weird. Because I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I genuinely believed that it was clickbait. Swear to God. Because I was like, this makes no sense. Why would they do that? Especially considering that the verdict around them was their offense is all right. Actually, if you go get some pitching, we got a whole nother conversation. And for them to kind of just blow it, it is weird. It's perplexing. Again, like you mentioned, Trey Mancini, he fought cancer in there. And then during his interviews, he kind of spoke about, the special thanks he gave to a lot of people. The guys that he credited to help him get through the cancer. Not only the people who helped him with the treatments, but the people who held him down when, days were tough, that he reached out to them at night because he couldn't sleep, and they answered. And he was like, I've talked on the phone with them for hours type of stuff. So it definitely was weird. Again, Houston doesn't have, they got somebody, right? They got a player, but it's just weird. It really is weird, man. I just don't get it. I really don't, and I don't, it's like I don't get it, Mancini right now he's hitting 268 with 10 homers and 41 RBIs in 92 games. Solid, you know. But what a time to be alive, bro. What a time indeed.
Yeah,
Another deal. Oh, go ahead.
That's why it didn't make no sense about it. It wasn't like he was in a real big slump or anything, or that something that happened. So you know what I mean? That's what made it even more confusing. It wasn't like Mancini had been hurt or was
Right.
going through a slump, wasn't playing good. He was
Or,
playing,
or,
playing good.
it's not like they had some disagreement and Trey Mancini was like, I want to get out of here or anything like that. There's there's a piece of the puzzle that's missing on why they would do that. And honestly, you know what I think it really is? I just think it's the Baltimore Orioles. It's been a while. They just started winning and they didn't know how to handle it. That's honestly the only thing I can possibly think of. They haven't in terms of winning, they haven't really been a relevant franchise since what?
Man.
It was Chris Davis, Manny Machado, and Adam Jones. Now, mind you, you have to say all three because when it was just like, if I am mistaken, I think the last one to go was Chris Davis. And boy, was that an embarrassment way for him to go out. Right? My guy was going over for years. Right? Then Manny Machado sure was putting up the numbers, but why did Baltimore trade him? Because we're not going to pay a guy a super duper max contract. We're not going to pay him 30% of our payroll just for us to still be last in the division, which is why they traded him to the Dodgers. And then Adam Jones, he left. If I'm mistaken, he left. He was gone for like 2 years and then he retired. So it's like, since that era, and that's been like what?
10, 15, well, probably getting close to about 10
about
years.
10 years. I was about to say, we're getting close to 10 years. Because I'm not going to count that last stretch of Manny Machado, because remember, even though Manny Machado was putting up the numbers, Baltimore sucked. And the only reason people cared about Baltimore was Manny Machado, more specifically the trade deadline, when people were like, I wonder if this is when they trade Manny. But in terms of winning, they haven't really been that, in terms of, like I said, in terms of winning, they haven't really been a relevant franchise. So now they win a little bit, and now you trade a guy you were trying to build your franchise around. It's weird. Doesn't make any sense in my opinion.
Why do you? One question, real quick. Why do you think there's so many teams in Major League Baseball that act like they don't want to win with a lot of the moves they make? It's like it seems like you have some teams that are in rebuild mode every 2 years. They don't ever give. If you're going to try to build a team through your farm system, you got to give it a little bit of time, and teams don't do that anymore. And then when it starts to work, once they start winning, it's like they break it back down. So, the Reds do it, like Baltimore. Baltimore's done it. They might start doing it now since they got rid of Mancini. It's like you're starting to compete. Why would you go take 2 steps back?
So here is where I think there's multiple reasons for that. So first, I think you look at the Oakland A's. Remember before they used to be kind of good? Eventually, I don't really care whether or not we're good. I just want money. So there's that avenue. Another avenue, which I think we also need to start embracing more, that the owners that want to make the decisions just don't know baseball. And these are guys that think, with this roster, I only have 2 years to make something happen. And then if I can't make it happen, I have to blow it up. So that's number 2. Number 3 is kind of a variation of number 2, where when we win, all right, I'm good with my ring for now. Let's blow everything up because we can get the most for them now. Right? So you can kind of group 2 and 3 together, but I usually separate them. And then 4, I think is the most dangerous type of owner / leadership you can have in any sport. The I'm savvy and I'm a super risk taker type of guy, where they do these dumb moves to try to pretend that they're playing 4D chess. It's like, dog, sometimes some things aren't that hard.
There's a reason why the other 30 teams didn't want them.
Exactly, right. So I think I honestly believe it's a combination. It's a case by case, but I usually tend to see those are the four main reasons. Like whenever you see why are you doing this and you look into it, it always usually boils down to one of those four reasons. And it really is a shame because like you said, bro, like Baltimore was just starting to get back to relevance. And it was good. It was nice. You know how nice it is to be in a division where everyone, like, no one's under 500? It's nice.
Well, that was like last year.
Yeah.
Like last year, the Reds were one game and a half out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we're starting to compete. Let's get rid of everybody. It's like,
yeah. It's like, no, that's the wrong thing. This is another trade that people were very confused about. It honestly was the first thing that kind of kicked off the entire microcosm that was the craziness of yesterday. The Brewers sent Josh Hader to the Padres in exchange for closer Taylor Rogers. Obviously there was Danielson Lamet and Esteury Ruiz and a pitching prospect and Robert Gasser, but the main thing really was Josh Hader for Taylor Rogers. It was weird. But I want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I didn't understand it, and the main reason I didn't understand why they would make the move is just you still have him under contract for next season. I'd understand if you didn't have him under contract for next season and you're thinking, well, we're not going to be able to get a contract done, so let's get something for him instead of just losing him. But he was still under contract for next season, so this wasn't the time to make that trade. Wait till next season to make that trade, especially when you're competing for your division. They basically went and got like a 5 or 6 year older version of Hader. You got they're similar players other than that. I think, what's his name? Rogers?
Yeah, Taylor Rogers.
Yeah. I think Rogers like 5 years older. So it just didn't make much sense. You get rid of Hader to get a guy that's 5 years older than him. And a lot of people say, well, Hader's been struggling. He had 2 bad games where he gave up most of those runs.
And that's what people don't understand. It was 2 bad outings he had that, let's be honest, that Milwaukee put him in a situation where he had to pitch perfection. And you cannot rely on perfection every single outing. Okay, you're not Mariano Rivera. And if you have to overly rely on perfection, that's absurd. My thing with this, I'll be honest, for San Diego, it makes sense. Rogers just lost the closer role. This is the part that no one's mentioning. He just lost it. What's up, Nate? How you feeling?
I'm doing okay.
That's what's up, bro. But, like, Taylor Rogers just lost it. He just lost his spot. So what are they going to do? Make him lose his spot and he sit on the bench? They're going to want to replace him. They don't have any other legitimate closer on their roster. And they're now going to trade for a guy in Hader that they've wanted for, 3 years? 2.5, 3 years? They were trying to trade for him last year. So, in my opinion, honestly, I'm not mad at it from the Padres side of things. I'm more perplexed from Milwaukee's side of things because they go get him and then immediately go, oh, yeah, remember that rookie we had last year? that Devin Williams kid. Yeah, by the way, he's our new closer. It's like, so why would you go trade for Rodgers and make the whole trade be almost dependent on him?
Yeah, but it made a lot of sense for the Padres. I agree, but it
Yeah.
didn't make no sense for the Brewers.
It didn't make any sense at all. I was just confused. I really
was confused. I was confused, Daryl. Most of what the Brewers did yesterday. Sorry, I'm a little quiet right now because I'm actually in the school building. But what the Brewers did yesterday, it was period. Not just that trade alone, but they actually ended up trading for the Texas Rangers closer as well. That just was confusing trade as well.
Which I don't, in my opinion, I just don't get. Because now it's like you just said, like you just basically traded for two closers that you're not going to play. I don't understand it. It's weird and it's just something is not clicking right. And I don't know what it is. I don't know whose idea it was, but I don't want to say it's dumb, but it's borderline mentally handicapped. Like that's like the best way I could possibly put it. Another trade, because in all honesty, bro, Atlanta, bless their heart, bro. Bless Atlanta. They traded, excuse me, Jake. I can never say his name. Odorizzi. I always stutter every time I say his name. Every single time.
I do too.
It just never fails. They ended up trading him, which I thought at first was a little bit of a surprise. But then it found out that they sent him to the Astros for Will Smith. Not that Will Smith. And I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel about it. Nate, does this make sense? Do you think they just basically got the same guy? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Because to me, I honestly don't know what to think of it. Nate,
I have a question. It's a question you genuinely don't know. Who's older?
I want to say it's Will, but let me double check. Hold on. Will Smith age. No, it's not 53. Hold on now. Settle down. Settle down. He's not 53. All right. I'm looking for the other one. So Will Smith, I am looking. So he is 32. Right? Yeah, he's 32. I feel like Jake is in that same ballpark. I'll tell you right now.
Jake is 32.
Yeah, so they're both 32. Yeah, they're both 32. So it's like, oh no, I lied. He's 27.
Who's 27?
Will Smith.
On here it says he's 30. On my thing it says he's 33.
I went to his stats page at Baseball Reference. They say he's 32.
Yeah, Smith 33 has 5 saves with a 4.38 ERA.
What is this, Albert Pujols 2.0? We don't got this man's birth certificate. How old are you? What the hell? What's going on here? I'm confused. I'm perplexed, befuddled. Golly. I was gonna say he can't be 27 because if he's 27, he is the oldest 27-year-old I've done seen in my entire life. What the heck? When was he born? Hold on. Now I you know what? I gotta investigate this. So okay, March 28th, 1995. That's what that says. Let me look here. Nah, because I'm being serious. Now I need to figure out, I need to investigate. Here. Born. Dude, there's like 15 Will Smiths in the league. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
He's born in 95. That'd make him around 27, 28, but is that the same Will Smith?
Dude, what are we doing here? What is his full name? He's got to have a middle name. Because if his name is Will Smith, we got a problem. Dude, I have 2 Will Smiths. That's why.
Yeah, because then there one on the Dodgers.
Is this the one on the Dodgers? Well, I don't know because I Googled it, right? And then they tell me his age is 27, but then I click on the baseball reference page, and then it sends me to the older one, I guess. How many Will Smiths are in the league? Dog, this is insane.
3 or 4 different ages.
Bro, this is insane. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm seeing 33.
So y'all both see 33?
Yeah, I'm seeing
All right, that's
33.
it. That's it. 2-1. Y'all got it. He's 33. So he's like a year older than it.
Yeah. I knew, and here's the thing that to me on this, I knew that the Braves were.
Oh, wait, but that's they acquired a Will Smith from the Astros, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I probably wasn't
the one
going to
I'm
catch
reading.
it.
The one I'm reading is saying that Will Smith played for the Atlanta Braves for 3 years.
I'm just calling him 33, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're requiring Smith. The Braves are getting Smith just now. Or no?
I don't even know if that makes a difference for either team. In all honesty.
No. The Braves are acquiring Odorsey, so yeah, Smith has been on the Braves for about 3 years. We had it backwards, or I was saying it backwards.
Hold on, let me see.
Which I knew the Braves were looking for a starter, but I didn't think they would get rid of a reliever to get that starter. That's why it didn't make a lot of sense to me because I knew they was wanting to add a starter to the rotation to try to make a push to the second half. But Smith was a decent reliever. He was what? He had 5 saves. Well, he had a 4.38 ERA. So
that's what I'm saying. I just feel like you're getting the same pitcher.
Yeah, the other guy's ERA.
That's just me. I mean, maybe
ERA was 3.75.
Maybe it's just me.
One's a starter and one's a reliever.
That's honestly the only thing. Like, I'm looking at this, and honestly, I only see in Jake. I only see a Will Smith who could give you 2 more innings. That's all I see. I don't see anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Odorizzi's last start, he only went to the 4th inning.
But like, honestly, I think he's a guy that could be. He barely gives you 6. You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to be rude or anything. You know what I mean? But like, I don't see anything and maybe it's just me. Like I said, man, I don't see anything.
And he missed 42 games with a leg injury.
Right, and if I'm mistaken, he's losing velocity on this thing too. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. We just don't care, do we? We just don't care. Speaking of not caring,
like the last trade.
What happened?
Like the last, well, not the last trade, but the one I talked about for the Rangers and Birds. So kind of the last trade. I think that really I don't really see a winner.
Wait, which one?
I brought it up, but it was the Texas Rangers and the Milwaukee Brewers trade that I mentioned. I don't see a winner with this.
No, but when
what were the players that got traded?
Oh, anyway, we traded our closer away. I can't remember the guy's name, but we traded our closer away to the Brewers.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't think. It was that Brewers. It was the one we
What, I was
talked
about to say,
about.
yeah, I was about to say, didn't you just bring that up too, Chris? It was their closure that they sent to Milwaukee around the same time that they sent Hader over to the Padres.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name now. They got Rogers from the Padres in the Hater trade.
What a time to be
The Brewers
alive.
did, and then you mentioned the guy's name at the beginning when we were talking. I can't think of his name, but I
Who,
know who
me?
you're. I thought you
Wait,
did.
the rookie?
The player he's talking about that went over to the Brewers. I thought
Oh,
you mentioned his name.
it
No,
was
it
Matt
was.
Bush. Matt
Yeah, I was
Bush.
about to say no because I could have sworn that Devin Williams was already
Okay,
on the
Williams. That's who we had talked about.
yeah, because I thought he was already
Okay.
on the Brewers. But what was his name? Great, Nate.
Matt Bush.
Yeah, I honestly I don't get that one because you're doing all these training for closers and the second year kid that I think he won Rookie of the Year last year. Yeah, I ended up like you guys are basically giving him the opportunity to be the closer. So
And what don't
weird.
make no sense to me, you trade away your closer and then you bring in two to three other closers to try to replace him. That right there says it's not a good deal.
Not only does it say it's not a
Yeah.
good deal, but I don't know. Something's weird, bro. Something is weird.
If I'm the older, I might be saying that it's time to get a new GM.
On God, 100%. Frankie says Jacob DeGrom making his debut, but who cares? We actually do. We said that earlier, but you know.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if DeGrom can pitch good, can get in a groove and pitch good this second half, the Met, I mean, how much
The
scarier is it to make the
Yankees
Mets?
don't want that smoke. The Yankees won't want that smoke. The
With
Dodgers won't want that smoke.
DeGrom and Scherzer.
I don't.
will see one.
No, there's
I will
no
see
team
one.
in the MLB that will comfortably want that smoke.
I will
Not
say
at all.
one thing about Matt Bush though. He has posted with the Texas Rangers. He has posted an ERA of 2.95. That's supposed to be a setup man for the bullpen.
And then the Braves signed third baseman Austin Riley to a big 10-year
Yeah,
deal.
that
Yesterday.
was it. The 10-year 212.
Yep.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart. He was like, give me that. He's like, give me that guap. I don't care. And then the Padres re-upped on Musgrove. They re-upped on him. Like, you ain't going nowhere, you little bitch. He's like,
Trade deadline's at what, 6 Eastern today?
Yeah, I think so.
what a time to be alive.
George Lopez to the Twins. I think it just happened.
Well, Lopez,
George
yeah.
Lopez he's with the Twins.
What'd you think about the way of course, I'm probably going to forget his name. The guy the Red Sox got rid of last night, Pride.
Vasquez? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know.
a catcher, right?
Yeah, fuck him, though.
Yeah. But no, did you see the way it happened? Dude,
listen.
He done batting practice.
He's at BP and it happened. I'm like,
They came out in the field and told him why he's out there with the team, and then he went, got his stuff, and walked over to the other clubhouse because they were it's crazy.
Because didn't the Astros play the Red Sox yesterday?
Yeah, they were in Houston, so he just walked over to the other clubhouse.
Yeah, so I didn't think it was real because Jay McLovin actually told me that. He was like, bro, from what I understand and how I'm reading this, supposedly they just picked him. Like, he just picked it. Like, they came, he took BP, and then somebody had asked him about oh, what's your reaction on you just getting traded? He goes, it's a business. Like, he didn't know what to say because he didn't know. And then all of a sudden, they went up to him. Somebody from the Red Sox came out because he was doing it right in front of the dugout.
Yeah, all the reporters were surrounded him, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
So they went down and just pulled him from it. They just pulled him from it. Like, and at first it looked like they was gonna whisper it to him. Like, what I thought they were gonna handle it the same way how DeMarcus Cousins Remember during the All-Star break when we got traded to the Pelicans and he was talking to everyone and they kind of whispered it to him and he was like, I thought that's what they were going to do. But also they just whisked him away. And then there's fan footage of him actually holding his stuff and just kind of like, well, it was wild. I was like, wow. I was like, I feel bad. It's ruthless, man. It's ruthless. I feel for the guy. Even though I was never a massive fan of his, but
it won't even. What even could have made it even a little worse?
No lie. Red Sox owner met with the Astros owner in the hallway and said, "Do you want this guy?"
I mean, probably, bro. I'm not even trying to be rude, but probably.
I couldn't believe they done that. And then, plus the dude, I mean, it makes it funny too because he just went over the scouting report and everything for, you know, I mean, how they were going to verse the Astros and all that. And you send them over there dugout.
Golly, bro.
Hey, they're going to pitch you outside.
It's insane, bro.
I was surprised they got rid of him because I thought he was one of them pieces that would be in Boston for a long time. It just seemed like he had made that his spot, and I thought the Red Sox liked him, so I was kind of surprised in it.
Bro, it's wild.
Frankie said he got traded, went to the other side, and lost.
I mean, look, honestly, and I made this joke in the group chat. I was like, imagine if we sell everything and then that's when we decide to win. I'll honestly I'll be mad. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be furious. I would need to talk to somebody.
You guys got Tommy Pham from the Reds.
I'm not even trying to be rude, but no.
That didn't bother me. It didn't bother me that the Reds made that trade.
No.
Now when they traded some of the other guys, I'm like, what the hell you doing? But Pham, he's decent, but he's not no.
No. Here's my thing when it comes to Tommy Pham, right? Like, and this is just me. Everyone has always said this guy's good, he could play and all this stuff, but every time I see him, I just see I don't want to say mid, but I just see a dude who's just, I don't see this super duper borderline superstar that everyone else sees. I don't get it.
No, I think he might be like maybe a little bit above average player, but he's not. That's why he's getting traded again, because the Reds just got him and now we're trading him. It's not. Oh no, he's real streaky. He's not consistent.
Exactly. So I feel like with all that, you know, I don't care, bro. No, I'm not even. I don't even care that, you know. That's just me. I'm not a fan of the move. I don't really care. I think it was. Honestly, to me, it gives me this vibe of quick. We just need somebody. That's just the vibe it gives me, which is weird because we didn't trade outfielders. But whatever, to each their own.
What'd you think about the Yankees getting Montas and Trevino?
Well, here's the thing with that. So with that one, I think things are very good. This honestly puts pressure on Servino, and a lot. Like, now you're getting pressed, bro, because the Yankees have been patient with this guy, and they've been giving him every single opportunity, which I don't blame him. You know, you got a youngster like that, a guy that you really like, you know what I mean? And at the time, there really was no other guy on the market that hit, you know, that you would be able to comfortably kind of, you know, pit up against him. But now, things are getting hot for him, for Luis Servino right now. Things are getting hot. I think it was a good move for the Yankees for now and for the future, right? Because let's say Luis Servino can't go anymore, or the waiting gets too much and they want to move on from him. Because the problem that they had with Servino was we can't move on. We can't move on. We need to keep him because unfortunately we have him. And he's supposed to be one of our main contributors in our starting rotation. I mean, now for the Yankees, there's no pressure to keep him there. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that they're going to try to get rid of him like that come this offseason. But they're going to be looking at him like, all right, bro.
It does put pressure on him to perform.
Not only perform, but to stay healthy.
Yep.
That now that's the type of pressure that they're putting on him. Like, all right, bro, look, we've given you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. It's getting to the point where in the last 2 years, Chris Sale has pitched more than you, bro. It's getting ridiculous. And this is the same conversation I'm about to have with Chris Sale. I'm getting tight with him. I'm getting mad with him. Fuck him. All right? You got a messed up finger? Yeah. You know what else is messed up? Your play and your health. Piece of shit. Okay? All right? So Chris Sale, step up. Step up. All right? Okay, what you do? But, you feel me? All right? You hear me, right? Good. Piece of shit. I almost bought a Chris Sale jersey. I was this close to buying a Chris Sale jersey. This close. Piece of shit.
That's one of the reasons I don't buy jerseys hardly anymore, because once I'll buy it, and it seems like right afterwards they get traded or something happens and they're not even on that team anymore.
I tell everyone that 100%, if you're gonna buy jerseys, get custom jerseys. That way you can put your own name on it or whatever. That's what I did. By the way,
I have a custom jersey.
Yeah, I got a Patriots custom jersey, a Red Sox custom jersey. I think I have one more just lying around here somewhere. I think I have 3 of them.
I have a Rangers custom jersey, but I also have a Yu Darvish Rangers jersey.
All right, let me get you out of here. Fuck you, Darvish. I'm just messing with you.
I also have a not DeMarcus Cousins.
I was about to say
Demaryius Thomas, Denver Broncos jersey.
Before you take off, I got a question for y'all, because somebody put this in the group chat, and he deleted it. But I mean, it's a good question. Really is a good question. I like it. But obviously you guys heard it's about wrestling, right? So obviously I heard that Bailey, not Bailey, I'm sorry, Sasha Banks and Naomi, that as soon as Vince stepped down and it was Triple H who took over, they were like, okay, yeah, we're coming back. They didn't, you know what I mean? They were like, look, we got a couple appearances we have to do at like conventions and like signings and all this stuff. Let us wrap those up, and we'll be right back like nothing ever happened. Now, somebody had a question. It was a solid question. I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. Ray basically asked, if they come back, do you guys think they would be put in a faction? Kind of like what they did with Bailey, right? When Bailey came back, it's Io Shirai. You don't understand how, that got me so angry and so sensitive. I was like, Hunter, you were doing.
I wonder whose idea that was to change her name.
It had to be him. I don't care what anyone says. It had to be him. It had to be him, because there's no way you're going to sit there and tell me that Dakota Kai can keep her shit, but Io Shirai got to be Io Sky. What, are we ripping off AEW? All of a sudden, we gonna shave her head, and her and Dakota Kai gonna be women of the century. She about to be Scorpio Sky. What's going on here? But anyway,
I do like that they brought him out in a faction like that. I do like that part of it. But yeah, the name didn't make. I didn't understand why they changed the name. just like some of the other names that they've changed. But
The name change is the only thing I don't like about the faction.
To be honest,
I don't know what they're going to do when they come back. I could see them maybe breaking them up as a tag team because I think
Really?
eventually Naomi's going to be joining the bloodline, and they're going to do some kind of story that way. So I can see them maybe breaking them up as a tag team and making it maybe singles competitors again.
honestly, I agree with Frankie here. I think they come back, and this is why I think so. When their problem really was how they were booked, right? You now go with Triple H, who, if and this is what every single NXT individual has said. Anyone who came from NXT, when we lost, and Triple H came up to us and told us we were losing, it made sense on why we lost. It wasn't like he just woke up one day and was like, "Oh, you made me mad. I'm taking it all from you." They were like, the storyline made sense, and we knew we were losing well in advance. So you combine that with the fact that, let's be honest, can anyone name me who the women's tag team champions are?
I think they're vacant right now.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's the point. Nate, they told us we're going to have a tournament. We're going to have a tournament to have new tag team champions. And then what do? Release half the women's roster. They release half the women's roster. But we got to give Austin Theory time. Let's release half of their roster. But I guess let's go bring in Logan Paul. They release half of their roster. Half of their roster. And Grayson Waller is still employed. Okay? They cut half of the female roster. Half of the female roster. But fucking Lily still gets screen time. That deformed, ugly doll thing Alexa Bliss comes out with. They're going to come back and they better put the belts back on them. Chris, what you were saying about Naomi ended up joining the bloodline, that could be a situation where you could build up to that. You probably could build up to that. You know what I mean? Have a situation.
Though.
Oh, let me hear it.
Oh, wait, first off, did you see Monday Night Raw yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Do you think that Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belair, do you think they're going to be a faction, or is just like a one-time help Bianca Belair only kind of thing?
It's going to be a situation. Okay, so you know how the best way I can compare it? Remember when the Shield used to be a thing way back in the olden days? And they used to just throw like random teams together, like Big Show, Rey Mysterio, and El Torito. And they used to just throw in like random teams just to face them. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think it's more of a one-time thing. I think a lot of the reason they kind of done the faction thing like that was it was a good way for them to try turn Becky back face by helping Bianca.
So that promo she cut?
Yep.
Called herself the man. I was like, you're back in my good graces.
No, I thought Raw was pretty good last night. I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna laugh when we say this. What, and
that first hour
was a
no
banger.
No commercials at all. It was kind of strange because there wasn't no commercials, but man, it was awesome. It was just boom, boom, boom.
I'm gonna laugh when, in all actuality, this was actually Vince's Raw that he already had booked, and we're all just being pessimistic because we thought it was Vince booking it. Bro, if that really would be the case, bro, that'd be hilarious. But honestly, man, and honestly, by the way, Montez Ford going heel soon, calling out. I'll be honest, I don't think he's gonna go heel. I think this is the perfect setup where like he's starting to get because every single time now that they lose, he has that 1,000-mile stare where he's like, I hate my life. I hate you. I hate this company. I hate my shoes. I hate my pants. I hate my barber. He's just got that 1,000-mile stare. One day, while he's doing that 1,000-mile stare, Angelo Dawkins is gonna level the dog mess out of him. That honestly, I would have hoped that would happen.
I think Dawkins is going to be the one that turns.
Because the reason why I want Dawkins to do the turning, I feel like if it's Montez turning on Dawkins, I just feel like Dawkins kind of could perhaps just fall to the wayside, which is a shame because he's good. I like him. He's not Montez, but I do like him.
And he's really stepped up the last month and a half. Dawkins he's really stepped up. He's looked even better.
But the problem is
Montez is the guy.
But the problem is a lot of the people don't want to acknowledge that because hey, still Montez Ford, right? So I do feel like if it's Angelo, if you still got Montez kind of like doing the whole I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do type of situation, you now have he does that, and all of a sudden you got Dawkins kind of close out him. You can still keep Montez Ford as a baby face, right? You now have Dawkins who now still has some of that heat, the heat. He can lose. By the way, where were they yesterday? They were in Houston, Texas.
Yep.
Okay. WWE never do an event ever again in Houston, Texas, ever again. Okay, they don't deserve it. They got a banger in Seth Rollins versus Montez Ford, and the crowd was dead and they were bored. And for you to be that bored during that banger of a match, you just don't deserve it. So avoid them for like 4 years. Yeah, that's your punishment. But that's what I would do. I would have Dawkins do the heel thing, then give him a manager. Because this Dawkins all right. Give him a manager.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the one to turn. Because I agree with you. He needs that kind of a push, that heat that he will get from it. That I think would benefit him more than what's going to benefit Montez.
Right. Which is why that's why I personally would want him. Because I feel like you got to give him some shine. You got to give him some love, right? Now, granted, I understand, the push is for Montez, right? So I'm with that. But I feel like we should give him some love too. David says, question, who turns first, Dominic or one of the Street Profits? Honestly, Dominic.
I think Dominic as well. I think Dominic's getting ready to happen.
I don't know why people hate Dominic so much. I don't get the hatred.
Me and Dad was talking about this yesterday about why do people hate Dominic so much.
I had someone tell me that Logan Paul's a better wrestler, and I was like,
"Oh, I saw that."
Yeah, was it Logan? Might have been Logan. Whoever said it, I felt like being like, "Did you hit your head?"
No, it was what's his name.
I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, I was like, "There's no way you're." Because here's the problem.
I think it was Chris, not this Chris, but the other Chris.
I don't know who it was, regardless. Because here's the problem: people saw that cute frog splash he did right off the top rope, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's the greatest thing ever." Yeah, remember what Johnny Knoxville was doing? Okay, so fuck off, disrespectfully. Okay, I don't get where this Dominic. Honestly, I think the Dominic Mysterio hate is because his dad is Rey Mysterio. I'm convinced it's a combination of that, and lately they've been kind of using the whole Eddie Guerrero type of thing, and it's like, I think unfortunately you can't hate Rey. I've never met a single soul on God's green earth to ever say with a straight face, "I hate Rey Mysterio." I've seen people say it as like satire, as like a joke. But like real life, never met that. I never met a person like that before.
Yeah, my dad mentioned this yesterday, and after he said it, I agreed with it too. He said that he thinks some of it is that Dominic never had to go to NXT, that he was trained by Ray and then brought straight to WWE, which I think, like Dad said, part of that was probably a way that they got was able to keep Ray. That probably had something to do with Ray's contract, that they'd give his son a shot or something. But yeah, I wonder if that's
Probably.
some of it because he never went to NXT like some of the other people. He just was straight up on the main roster. So I think that
I've
might
been told
be a reason why
I've
some
been told
people
that
give him the
Ray
hate.
I've been told that Ray does not specifically said that he does not want to wrestle his son. So
No, he wants
if
to.
that's true,
No, he
what?
wants to. He wants to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like his thing. Both like he came back to WWE because they promised. He basically said, "I'll come back if you give my son a contract." The point of it is Rey Mysterio's final match is supposed to be a retirement match where he loses to his son in an effort to kind of, in storyline, pass the torch. But Rey just wants to wrestle against his son. That's it. He just wants to wrestle against his son on a big stage. So WWE would try to push it at, which again, it's going to be even more Dominic Mysterio hate because WWE is going to push it as he beat his father, he took the torch from his dad, and he will lead it into the next generation. Why do you think everyone hated Kalisto? Because he was the next Rey Mysterio. Don't you realize that every time you give someone that type of a famous of a famous luchador, they get this hatred? People forget how much Angel Garza was hated. And he was hated because they were like, he's the next Eddie.
So, well, why do you think everybody hated Sin Cara there when he came in? Because they tried to build him as the next Rey Mysterio and with his look and everything.
Bro.
And people wasn't having it.
Well, see, he did his first entrance when he tried to jump over the top rope and he tripped on it. That kind of shot him in the foot. Like, I was like, and ready to hear the sad part about it. This is the same dude that in AAA was like getting named Wrestler of the Year by the Wrestling Observer. He was Wrestler of the Year. Gets to WWE, my guy can't even jump. You're a high flyer. You can't even jump. What are we doing here? My guy did like a generic, like he jumped through the middle rope one day, one match. He went to jump into Alberto Del Rio, dislocated his finger, called off the match. I don't know if that was the original or if that was the other the eighth Sin Cara. I don't know who it was, but he was like, "Oh, my finger!" And Alberto Del Rio was so tight. He was like, "Get off him now!" and just beat the bricks off him right there live. I think it was on Raw. And I was like, "Dope." I was like, "It's kind of edgy. I kind of like it." And then like he got suspended for like a couple weeks because it was like that was like unprofessional. I was
And
like,
it's a slap in the to me. It's a slap in the face to Ray to
I'm
compare
I'm gonna
these
have to
guys.
hop up, so I'll see you guys later.
I see an 8.
All right, see Nate. Yeah, to me, it's a slap in the face to Ray because you're comparing these guys to him. Not only is Ray one of the, like you said, longest lasting luchadors there's ever been, but he was the one that finally broke that barrier where a small guy was a world champion and got a push.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was one of the first cruiserweights that actually got a big push like that. I mean, he's been a pioneer for some of the little guys.
Right. Which again is kind of a situation where, like
I thought his son was going to turn on him at SummerSlam. I really did. The way they had him acting on SmackDown that Friday night before and stuff. I thought so. I think it's coming pretty soon, but I thought it was going to happen then.
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I'm interested to see what happens with Edge too.
Yeah.
Where they're
Then
going.
he
where they're
who
going
did
to
he
go with
just,
that.
he just speared the mess out on Raw. He speared the mess out of Dominic. Obviously, it was an accident, but like, I'm like, wow, what a time to be alive. Then he says, speaking of suspension, do I think Ronda's getting suspended or is it just storyline? Oh, I think she's talking about. He's talking about when she kind of attacked all the officials. That's definitely a storyline. That's definitely a storyline. If it 100% that was a storyline. 100%. I don't think if it wasn't a storyline, this is my thing. When it comes to a female doing that, when she's kind of like being the guys, in my opinion, if it's a woman doing it to guys, it's a storyline, right? Because if you really need her stopped, you're not going to send guys, because the optics would look bad. You would send women, right? Because that way, if the women hit her, it's fine, right? Like if Ronda Rousey's going out of control, I'm saying, Noble, get out there, Jamie. Go stop.
Hey,
I'm not
I'm sending
doing
Drew
that.
back. I'm sending Drew McIntyre out there and tell him, go out there and knock the shit out of her.
If I'm sending a guy, I'm like, Bobby Lashley, you're on double duty. Get out there. Defend your title again. If I have to send a guy against Ronda Rousey, I'm not sending Grand Metalik Jr. All right, that's not who I'm sending. Okay? I'm not sending him. I'm sending Omos. Go do something. All right?
Go out there, grab her by her head, carry her back to the back.
And that's who I'm sending. Again, if I have to. Now, granted, like I said, if I had to, I would send the entire women's locker room to go handle her. But if I gotta send a guy, first of all, I don't care who I'm stopping. I'm not sending someone who's shorter than the person I'm trying to stop. Let me just start that right off the gate. If the person I'm trying to stop is 5'5", I'm not sending a 5'2" mofo to go save the day. That's one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, a dude in a suit is getting beat up 8 out of 10 times. 8 out of 10 times. Let's just be honest. 8 out of 10 times you're getting beat up. That's it. So they gotta send other people, bro. They gotta send other people. Chris, have you heard about the tampering investigation into the Niners and Knicks, bro?
I heard a little bit about it. Actually, I didn't hear about the Knicks part. I heard about the 76ers part.
So I'm going to break it down both of them. So for the Knicks, they're basically upset that the Mavs are because they feel like the Knicks were in contact and the deal was already made before free agency opened. Over on the 76ers, the NBA believes that the Sixers basically told James Harden, if you opt out after this year, we'll give you a lucrative contract, which is illegal. Do you think any type of disciplinary actions will be handed down to, if we're going to be honest, a rule that is kind of not always enforced?
I don't think they might do a fine or something. I don't think they should get anything. I mean, if you had to deal with Brunson before that happens all the time. Most of these deals get announced before free agency ever opens up. Most people know that what's going to happen in a way. So that I don't think that's that big a deal to me. And then with the Knicks, the Knicks got Brunson. 76ers with Harden. I mean, that was what was being reported by everybody before he ever or as soon as he opted out, was that he was going to give up some money and he was going to get it back on the next deal after this season. So I mean, it's stuff basically that we already know. So I don't know. I don't think it'd be that big a deal. They might give him some kind of fine.
That's why, to me, it doesn't make any sense, right? In terms of this specific, in these specific circumstances, because first and foremost, nobody else was going to give Jalen Brunson 4 years. What was it? 4 years, 110 million. And no other team was going to give it to him.
And we all knew they were tampering when they hired his dad as a coach.
Right. So why wouldn't you stop it then?
Yeah.
Right. Like all the signs of the tampering were blatant. They were blatant because he was supposed to go and talk to other teams and he only talked to the Knicks. That's blatant. That is blatant. So why wouldn't you do something then? It's kind of dumb to do something about it now. And then over on the Sixers side of things, yeah, he opted out, and let's say let's say that the 76ers did promise him something. To your point, Chris, that was the speculation. The speculation was, well, he does this, they get some stuff, to try to build something to keep it for a few more years. Probably go get a 2-3 year deal from the Sixers that no one else could really can match or would want to match. And he resigns with them. So it's like, hold on, timeout. It would be a Chris, I don't know business. I can't even spell business. I think there's Z's in there. Swear to God, I'm dumb. Okay. If you ask me to spell the word Google, I'll tell you there's a W and I'll start throwing out numbers. That's how dumb I am. But even I understood, yeah, if he opts out, they'll be able to kind of just sweeten something down the road. So it's like, unless you have text messages or something, again, a situation.
And also, a dude's not going to opt out of 35 million or whatever it was without knowing that
I'm going to get paid later down the road.
I mean, oh yeah, I don't want your 35 million. No, of course there was some kind of agreement that he was going to get took care of down the road. That's how long has that been happening in sports? I don't understand why the NBA is trying to make a big deal out of it now. Like you said, they should have put a stop to that when the Knicks hired Brunson's dad as a coach.
To be honest, like I said, and that's why I don't get it anymore. Because, and I understand, you want to stop the tampering, and I get it. I really do, 100%. I understand, right? But here is where I personally get confused. If we're gonna stop the tampering, why wait till almost months later?
Yeah. Say something when it's going on.
Right. Like, if you don't want to do it exactly what's going on, because sometimes they'll say, you know what, we need to make sure, boom, that they actually go through with it. So when we see it, all right, fine. As soon as they sign it and it's reported, you should be able to verify it as a league. And when they verify it, then do something then. It's just weird, man. Really is weird. Final topic of the day, my guy. This one is going to be a very interesting one. Very interesting indeed. So, my guy, AJ Brown, right? He got traded, right, this offseason. After Debo got paid, he basically said, he tweeted, this is like a rough, just is not an exact quote. 4 receivers who wanted to get paid. We all got paid around the same, yet I'm the one who got traded. Obviously, it's a shot over to Tennessee. Chris, here's a question I pose to you. Is he kind of just, still kind of upset about the fact that the Tennessee Titans would have paid him? Or do you think that he's kind of trying to, be like, look, the business side of this is a little too corny?
I think he's kind of mad. I think he's kind of mad that he didn't get paid and got to stay in Tennessee, because I think he liked it in Tennessee, which I don't understand because Tannehill isn't the greatest quarterback.
You're like the horrible decision, but whatever.
But but no, I do, and I think he's seeing what Debo got, and he's like, and in Brown's mind, hey, I'm just as good or better than him. Why wouldn't my team give me money like that?
What a time to be alive, bro. I'll be honest, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know.
Which, I mean, he signed a good deal. Brown, I mean, he signed a good $100 million deal with the
he
Eagles.
did. Nah, he did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
Here's my concern when it comes to all this. he has a point. He does. I'll be honest. He's got a legitimate point. Here's where my concern is. Did you really get paid the same as everybody else? You know? Sanders says they told him we can give you 14, 17 mil, but they knew he'd be able to get more elsewhere. No, they did, and they low-key. I'm not gonna say they low-key did him dirty, but they, the vibe that I got from the entire situation was we want you, but we don't need you. I think that's the vibe, at least for me anyway, that I kind of was getting. And when you start giving off that vibe, if you're AJ Brown, you pick up on that vibe and you're going to kind of be, you're going to be upset and offended, right? Which I don't blame him, right? He's talented, right? He's in my opinion, top 10 wide receiver in the league, and if you don't think he's top 10, he's at the bare minimum top 15,
I think there was something going on between him and Tennessee that led to this because, like, if you look at his comment, he said basically all four of us got the same contract, and I'm the only one that got traded.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Yeah, keep believing it was me." So that makes me think like, hey, maybe the Titans or somebody on the Titans was maybe saying that he was a problem, or they traded him and got somebody else, so he felt disrespected, like they thought that player was better. So. Yeah, I think he's just still salty that he got traded, and he's letting Tennessee know about it.
Yeah, and maybe and here's the thing, I think they came across like when they told him, "Hey, look," like because what Sanders saying, "I know what you're trying to say, bro, and I agree. Or pride, we want you, but we can't afford you at the price you want." I think they tried to approach him like that. I think they tried to, where they were trying to be honest with him.
Trying to be cheap.
I think that's how AJ Brown took it.
Yeah.
I think because let's be honest, I think everyone knows the Titans were cap strapped.
Yep.
Right? Like there were not a lot of moves they could have made. And they understood that and they tried to tell him. And I think the vibe that AJ Brown was picking up was, hold on, y'all don't rock with me. Interesting. I think there was like a line, and this is where it's awkward when you get into these kind of, contract negotiations. There's that fine line where you when you get too close to it, the same words mean differently. They have different meanings, right? And I think that's where they were in a situation where, unfortunately, we can't afford you. And then AJ Brown was like, "You can't afford me, or you don't want to afford me."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Unfortunately, we can't." And then that kind of gave him the vibe as, hold on, so in essence, you don't want me. Now you're doubling down on me. Do your thing. And then I think it all just made it worse when I think in my mind, I think this is what sold it for AJ Brown, where you traded AJ Brown to only draft AJ Brown. Like Burks does the same thing. And it's to me, it's hilarious. Because it's like, hold on, you traded AJ Brown to draft AJ Brown. That's kind of funny. And I feel like AJ Brown, that in the back of his mind, he's like,
what the Titans should have done, they should have just done, they should have took a page out of the 76ers book, done a little bit of tampering, say, hey, we'll give you that, we can give you this right now, and we'll give you a contract here in a couple of years for more money.
I'd have been like, yo, come here. Listen. Here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna do this, right? Here's how we're gonna pay you, right? We gonna give you a minimum, right? You go back minimum. Like, hold on. Trust us. Bottle service. Matter of fact, hold on. Boom, boom. It's a Sean. He got all these names for you. Here, boom. I am breaking every rule for this man. I would have broken every rule for this man. I really would have. You know? And then Sanders says a rookie's also always going to be cheaper than a star. And that is true. That is true. You know, I just think in my opinion, from the optics of it, when you're looking at a situation where you basically draft the same guy and you let him go, it's like I don't know. I just feel like the optics is kind of, I'm not going to say they're bad, but boy, oh boy, is it funny. It is, in my opinion, it's hilarious. Because, like, yo, the memes was hilarious. It was AJ Brown and Traylon Burks passing each other in the airport, and it's a Spider-Man meme where they're both pointing at each other, and I'm like, it's true. Like, and you know what I mean? So, and for the business side of things, I get it. I do, right? Because to Sanders' point, a rookie, like right now, Jamar Chase,
It's cheap.
He's cheaper than a Devontae Adams right now. He is cheaper than a D-Hop, than a Cooper Kupp. He's cheaper, and his production is, you know, in the vicinity of them.
Well, that's why these teams go all in when they get these rookie quarterbacks that they think are transcendent players, because they got them on a cheap deal, so you can afford to put more around them. Because after that
Chargers.
4 or 5 years, after that first 4 or 5 years, you're going to have to pay them if they turn out to be what you think they are.
Yeah, it's just like like what the Chargers are doing now.
Yeah. When you got a guy like Herbert, you got to go all in, because eventually you're going to have to pay him, and then you're not going to be able to put as many pieces around him. This is the time you can put as much around them as you're going to be able to.
Actually, you can put as much as you possibly can, and you go from there. Yeah, because I'll be honest, man. For me, the way I'm looking at the entire situation, I just think it's AJ Brown still upset. And like I said, I don't blame him for being upset. Let me just get that out the way. I don't blame him, right? Because he's, you know, I feel like him and Chris, because you said that Ryan Tannehill, you know, is not that great. Shout out to Randy, Ryan Tannehill, GOAT. Let's respect him. But I will say this, even though Ryan Tannehill's not the best quarterback on the planet, the connection he had with AJ Brown was honestly something. Like, if I'm like, and I've been a wide receiver that had to switch to quarterbacks, good. I would rather have a quarterback that I have a great rapport with, rather than just looking at it based on talent. Because there were times where, like, I'll play with a talented quarterback, but he ain't really know me like that. Right? Like, he didn't understand my breaks. He didn't understand my routes. He didn't get it, right? So, like, I always felt like we were kind of like on two separate pages, right? I had a dude, his name was AJ. Homie, he was but god damn it, I loved let me just pause in advance. I love when he threw me balls. Pause again, right? Because it was, you know, it was always there, you know? Every single time I needed. And I think you have a situation like that, combine that with the fact that, man, you only worry about me because we got a guy who would run 300 yards because he's bored. Like, he'll run 300 yards like this week because he's bored. You kind of did have that. Plus, you had a young defense on the rise. It was a solid situation. You know? It was a solid situation. And, you know, I think he didn't want to stay. You know, and in any situation, when you end up having to leave, you know, when you end up having to leave a situation you don't want to leave, you know, you're going to be a little, you know, you're going to be upset, right? So I think that's where a lot of the shots he's throwing is coming from. Like, he's upset. And he's like, man, you know, fuck, man, you know, if things had went out the right way, I could have still been there. You know? I think that's where a lot of this is really coming from. I really do.
Yep, I agree. He's still upset that he got traded. He wanted to stay where he was at. He had that connection with the quarterback, and yeah, he got paid. He ended up getting paid, but I think he misses Tennessee. I think he just sometimes you get comfortable at places.
Yes,
and I think he was comfortable and liked where he was at, and he's a little salty that it got taken away from him.
Yep. And like I said, I just think when you're in a situation where, I'm comfortable, and this is also the other part that people aren't really mentioning that you brought up, like personal life, when you're starting to kind of lay your roots down into place, that matters. That matters. It matters a lot.
Especially if you have a family.
Yeah. Now I don't know if he's got a family or anything.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know. I don't know or not, but if
Yeah,
you have
I'm
a
not
family,
sure.
it's even matters more because
Mm-hmm.
you're uprooting your kids to a new school, whole new environment, and
Yes.
taking them away from their friends. I mean,
Right. So that's kind of like a whole thing where, like, like for example, like LeBron, when he moves, he left up until recently, like, up until he moved to LA, he kept his Cleveland home. He kept his Cleveland home. So he was like, the kids can kind of, do the thing. Like, but unless you're one of those top guys that's kind of already got the the system already kind of built, not a lot of guys can do that.
yeah.
So one thing I will say when it comes to AJ Brown, bro, just don't let this linger during the season. Don't let it linger throughout the season. All you need to do, just as soon as preseason starts, just let all this go. Obviously when
I
you
think
go through,
once the season starts, he'll be all right because then he'll be concentrating on playing football.
Right? Yeah,
you get back in your routine.
exactly. And like I said, like I understand when you go through stuff like that, you need time to vent. So I get it, right? But again, don't be dumb. Don't be like me and drag something out for a millennia. Don't drag it out. Just be able to get all the stuff off your chest. But there's gonna be a time you gotta nip it in the butt, and you now gotta be able to move on and understand. You know what? I'm out at I'm in the next part of my career.
Go find somebody and say, hey, I need you to stand here while I yell and scream at you for a minute.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Just get it all out your way. Shoot, who knows?
Have somebody wear a Tennessee Titans shirt if you need them to.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just just get all of that vent out your way. Boom, just to get it out of your way, so that way you can breathe and go done. So that way you'll be fine. Damien had a question. Why does everyone think the Browns really think they're going to be bad without Watson when they have a good quarterback in Brissett? I mean, yeah, he had a few rough seasons, but that was in Miami. So here's my thing on Jacoby Brissett. For me, it's not that I think Jacoby Brissett's a bum. I just think he is, at best, I think he's just a game manager. A guy who you don't want him to get in the way, and that's it. And that can work for some teams, like against some teams, but year one doing it with a Jacoby Brissett who, who's shown you that when he needs to take over, he can't do it, it's going to be rough. So you now have to rely on that Browns defense to not give up more than, and we talked about this, Chris, more than 16 points per game. Can they do it? To some teams, yes, they can hold them down to that. We actually looked up their first 6 games of the season. The only 2 teams they could do that to realistically is the Jets and the Falcons. I don't think they can, depending on how everything happens with the Panthers, you got a week 1 Christian McCaffrey. Now, this was week 4, we got another conversation. But week 1 Christian McCaffrey, who's yet to get hurt.
And maybe week 1,
and perhaps
motivated as hell, Baker
Mayfield
to show Cleveland that they fucked up.
That like you got those, they have a chance, right? Pittsburgh, perhaps, I don't know. I'll give them somewhat of a chance.
I'll give Pittsburgh a chance too,
right? And then the next two teams, I think it was the Chargers, and I'm missing one other team. I'm about to pull up your schedule right now.
Yeah, to me, Brissett's a real solid backup quarterback, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, because you need those in the NFL, but he's a good leader. He's not going to cause trouble in your locker room, and he can come in and keep you and you'll be competitive. But he's not going to make that big throw when you need it. He just he's a little slow at pulling the trigger. If guy's not wide open, he hesitates a little bit before he makes that throw, and that's what causes some interceptions or some throws to be off. He just can't read the defense fast enough yet.
And not only can't read the defense fast enough, but there's times where you got to trust yourself on on some of those windows that come at you fast, and it kind of goes to what you're saying, Chris, where he kind of pump fakes and goes, I'm scared, and it's like sometimes you got to move on with that. But real quick, Damian, this is the 6 games Deshaun Watson's gonna miss. At Carolina, that's up in the air. I think they do win at Jets. I do think so. Pittsburgh, I don't know. At Atlanta, I think they win that. So far they're at 2 wins. Chargers, Patriots. I don't think they win either one of those games. So right now we're looking at them to be 2-2. So now it really comes down to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Panthers, and it comes down to one thing: can the defense hold them to 16 points or less?
And the thing about them games is the Panthers have a pretty good defense as well.
Exactly.
And the Steelers are usually known for their defense.
And one thing about the Pittsburgh, let's say they don't have a great defense. Guess who they got? Mike Tomlin, who can trick everyone into thinking this is a great defense because he's a great defensive-minded coach. He could put players in the proper position to put them at their best chance to succeed. Right?
And I think people forget that Carolina has a good defense.
Yeah.
Their offense can stay healthy and don't turn the ball over. I think Carolina is going to be decent. I'm not saying they're going to a Super Bowl or anything, but
they're over 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, they're in my I'm with you. If especially for me, it's just the injuries. If you can let them be healthy, because remember, last year Sam Darnold was looking good until the injuries hit him. Yep. And then all of a sudden everything was dropping around him. He lost his running back, he lost some receivers, his offensive line was getting banged up. Then all of a sudden, it looked rough. But for me, that's just me though. But this has been A$AP in the morning. Chris, you got any final words?
No, man. Just interesting to see what else is going to happen. Is Juan Soto going to get traded, or is Washington going to keep a hold of him for the rest of the season?
Not only them, I'm also interested in the Angels. How serious were they when they said that they're going to put Ohtani on the market? I'm very interested in that. But tomorrow, we'll have all those answers. On behalf of Chris, it is your boy Pride. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be safe.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.